Hello.
Hey there.
Hey.
Welcome again.
Hey, welcome. We're started now.
And we're gonna probably cut this
Welcome, Cristobal.
Cristobal, yeah. So he's the
Hey.
replacement for Jake this week.
Yeah.
He's on vacation at the moment. Actually, I think he's returning back today.
Yeah,
Should be.
So if he comes back right in
Should
now,
be.
I'm screwed, and I'll be gone for the remainder.
Anyway,
Great way to start off the video, guys.
excellent way to
Totally.
start. So today we're going to be doing a video about the realisticness or lack of realism in superheroes. Now, again, the whole realistic thing, the superheroes aren't really designed to be realistic. They are just designed to have like realistic traits.
But it's fun to imagine them if they had real superpowers and seeing how they'd fail tremendously in Earth's,
Stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, take Superman for instance. He's invulnerable. He is completely 100%. You can't kill him.
Except
Except for
magic, lead,
kryptonite.
or kryptonite, but,
Which,
Only one person has,
yeah.
which
With
is
what?
Lex Luthor.
Well, that's not true. Batman's got kryptonite, but he
He
only
needs it
as a backup plan.
as a backup plan. If
Okay, so-
Superman ever goes.
Before we actually go into the ranting part of the video, since this is our first rant, first we want to talk about the backstory of Superman.
Okay.
as if anybody knew that.
Yeah,
Okay,
presuming
just-
that you don't know,
Assuming.
assuming that you don't know, Superman is a Kryptonian. He was on a very distant planet. His world was being destroyed. In a last-ditch effort, a forensic scientist put his son into a hastily built spaceship and sent him off to who knows where. He landed on Earth and was found by a motorist and was put in an orphanage, where he was then promptly, where his strength and his ability to do all these amazing things quickly evolved. And
Because under his planet, Krypton, he was under a different sun, and therefore didn't get the powers that he got on Earth. However, on Earth, which has a different sun, he got superhuman abilities.
yes, however, that is again, that was pre-Crisis Superman. That is not the more modern Man of Steel Superman, but that is the original way that Superman was created.
And then the more modern way was the same idea. He was Kryptonian. His planet was being destroyed, and his parents put him in a space pod and sent him off into space, and he ended up landing on Earth, where a family found him, and I see you, Matt, and found him and adopted him, and he became Clark Kent, I think, at that point.
Yes,
I think that's about right, yeah.
he's gonna name Clark Kent.
Yeah, by his family, the Kents. So that's the kind of origin of Superman. Those are two different ones. So,
First superhero.
I think, was he the first superhero? I think so.
He was created in 1934, I want to
I
say.
would not go
Yeah.
that far to consider it the first
He's not the
superhero
first.
because the idea of
1934.
superhero could vary differently, but he was the first modern representation.
Yeah, the first modern representation like that.
Originally created in
I didn't actually
1934
use the,
by
like-
Siegel and Schuster. Siegel created the idea. Schuster designed the character and stuff. So
I didn't actually mean
He was originally a
first
bald guy in a
superhero.
wheelchair. We shot
Ever.
lasers from
I
him.
was actually meaning first superhero on the list.
yeah.
Got it, yeah. He's the first one we're going to rant about. So, ranting time.
Okay.
Superman doesn't need. There's no need for him.
Yeah. Matt and pretty much all of us are against Superman.
Cristobal likes Superman.
That's what I said
Cristobal,
pretty
you
much.
like?
Yeah, I like Superman.
Uh,
We're finally a group here.
So, Superman originally started with only super strength and the ability to jump really hard. And Superman has, throughout his really, really long lifespan of being a comic book hero, developed multitudes of powers that aren't really consistent with his origin story. But the reason why he has the ability to be extremely strong, and the reason he can jump super far and all that stuff is one of the main reasons is that the Kryptonians, they are an extremely old race, and their bodies have adapted to a different way of life on Krypton. Krypton was a extremely large, extremely dense planet, and so their muscle density is extremely massive. And so they have the ability to be extremely strong and have all that extra stuff when they go to a smaller planet like Earth. And although heat vision, X-ray vision,
frost breath,
the ability to stop a bullet, like a bullet's bouncing off skin, that doesn't really, unless those don't really fit. The only reason a bullet bouncing off a skin might be something that happens is because like an increased muscle density could be resilient, but even then it would still show a mark, it would still damage, it would still hurt.
Don't forget his best superpower, rebuilding the Great Wall of China with his mind.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that happened in Superman 4.
Oh. Okay, we don't talk about those ones. Those Superman movies were not that good. After, I think, like, the third one. Yeah. But, so, Superman himself, most of his abilities come from the red sun of Earth, which causes him to have the different style, different strengths and stuff. It caused him, I know in the earlier comics, he originally just straight had super strength, and his super strength allowed him to leap over tall buildings. And most of the comic book creators who were writing with him would get to a point where Superman would get stuck in a situation where he was unable to get out with his current abilities, and they would add another ability, like, oh, well, he's now spent enough time under the red sun, so he can do this. So, that was usually how it happened, and that's how he's gotten to so powerful as he is.
Those hidden abilities that he has.
Come on, Chris, get back over here.
I'm charging.
Oh.
There's the power strip right over here.
Yeah, there's a power strip right there. Anyway, ignore the beeping. Next superhero.
You want to do Flash?
Jigger.
Okay, so we're first going to talk about the Flash, which, if you do not know, there actually have been multiple Flashes through the ages. So, starting out with the original Flash, his name was Jay Garrick. He started out as a college student in 1938, and he accidentally inhaled heavy water vapors after taking a smoke break inside his laboratory where he was working.
It's no.
It's rewritten as hard water.
That's what.
As hard water, heavy water vapors. And as a result, he found that he could move at increased superhuman speeds.
For those of you wondering, hard water is water that has high mineral content in contrast with soft water. Hard water is formed when water percolates through deposits of limestone and chalk-containing materials such as calcium and magnesium. This is that gunky stuff that gets on your sink whenever you leave it on dry for a while. So
particularly common.
It's not really just a big chemical, it's just a fancy term for
It's just a fancy term for basically non-filtered water.
Yep. And it is not ice.
Yeah. So he
No
that's
ice.
yeah, no ice. So he inhaled that. He spent a while as a college football star. After that, he donned a red shirt and a lightning bolt and a stylish metal helmet with wings. This was all to make look like the god Hermes, who is pictured as the fastest god alive. And that's when he became the Flash. Yeah, if you can see that, he's kind of got a weird looking helmet.
We'll put an image
on
on
the
yeah.
We'll put a picture on the screen, yeah.
Right there.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere up there.
Somewhere, yeah.
You'll see it.
We
won't
you
see
see
it.
where his head is, and then you see where his head is.
Right-
It's gonna be somewhere
right
between.
here, right
where
Matt's
my
head.
Or it
right
could just
there.
take up the entire screen and we could just be blurred out. That's probably more realistic.
More
Probably.
realistic. You'll just hear us talking while a picture just shows up.
So, Jay Garrick donned the Flash, and after a while, he joined the Justice Society, which was the precursor to the Justice League.
Remind us again who was in the original Justice Society.
In the original Justice Society, you had Green Guardian, who was kind of, think of Green Lantern, but not of the Green Lantern Corps. It was a little bit, it's sort of predecessor.
Flash.
Well, it's just the Justice Society, and then there were a few others that were inside there as well. So then later on, Barry Allen, who was a forensic scientist at Central City Police Department. His mother had been killed when he was a child, and that caused him going into this career. And at one point,
find the killer, which
yeah.
never really came up until Flashpoint Paradox, which, if you have the means, I'd pick it up. It is a really good book and movie. It is so choice.
So after that, after all this happened, a lightning bolt struck the shelf of chemicals he had in his laboratory, causing them to spill over him, and gave him, what was it, the Speed Force?
It was.
Or did he find the Speed Force afterwards?
No. He made, at that moment, the Speed Force and his powers to run really fast were created due to the fact that he is really no.
So that, and then he became the Flash, and he later on joined the Justice League. After a while, he had a predecessor though, his own, Wally West, who was related to him by marriage. He was his Wally West was Barry Allen's nephew later on, and Wally West recreated the experiment that caused Flash and create himself. He did not have all the same powers as Flash. He was just a little bit downsized. But he became Kid Flash for a while, the sidekick. Then later on, after different stuff happened, he became the Flash. And then that's about it. There are a few others that are like grandchildren of Barry Allen, Bart Allen.
Bart Allen, Jesse Chambers, John Fox. There are much more that.
Sela Allen, Blaine Allen, Jace Allen. There's a bunch of others. There's another
that are Flash characters. They hold the mantle, but they're not
the Flash.
They're not.
They held the mantle
specific.
for a short amount of time
Yes.
before either the actual Flash returned from whatever had happened, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the backstory of the Flash. So do you guys have any problems with the Flash?
Okay, I want to do my research on the Hulk, please.
Let's
kind of want to do the Reverse Flash real quick.
But he's just the Flash.
No, not just the Flash.
The Reverse Flash.
The Reverse Flash. He's like the Flash. Yes, Cristobal is right. He's like the Flash, but it's the character Ivor Thawne. He became so obsessed with Barry Allen. He just became so obsessed with him. He wanted to be like him, so he goes Sandcraft. Shut up.
I'm sorry. I'm not a huge Flash fan personally, so I'm not really that into the whole knowledge of Flash's backstory. So I'm letting you guys kind of take this one.
He I kind of don't want to spoil this.
Don't spoil it then.
Okay.
We're not here to tell you about the
If
comics.
we're not here to tell you. We're telling you. We're ranting
Don't
about why.
pick out Flashpoint Paradox.
We're
I
talking
want to talk
okay.
about. I want to talk about the Hulk because I did find a lot of interesting research about the science of.
Well, okay, let's do the origin story of Hulk, and then we'll rant about all three.
Yeah.
Okay, Hulk. He was a scientist. He messed with gamma radiation, and now whenever he gets angry, he turns into a giant green range monster. Done.
Wasn't it because like his wife died that he wanted to? Something like
No, he was
No.
funding.
Okay, gamma radiation turns him into a giant green rage monster whenever he gets angry. Boom, done. Now, we were talking about the Hulk. The Hulk is 8'5". That's a pretty tall height. And because he is human shaped, we're going to take the proportions of a human and extend them to the height of the Hulk. Now, the tallest person ever was named Robert Wadlow, and he was almost 9 feet tall. And he died when he was 21 because of a infection on his toe because of poor blood circulation on his body. And that's the problem. Because of the cube square law, you don't have a lot of support for your body when you're human shaped. That's why other animals that are very tall, such as elephants or giraffes, aren't human shaped. They have special adaptations to make their bodies extremely tall. If the Hulk were, say, 8'5", such as the recently deceased Leonid Stadnik, who reached 8'5", he would probably suffer the same fate as Robert Wadlow because of poor blood circulation, as we mentioned before. Now, Louis Cyr was the quote-unquote world's strongest man who ever lived. He could lift 500 pounds with one finger and backlift 4,337 pounds. According to the International Federation of Bodybuilding and Fitness, Ben Wheeler, he was the strongest man to ever lived. Now, let's see how strong the Incredible Hulk is, because as we all know, he is super strong. He can lift, when he's calm, around 100 tons. Not pounds, tons. And his most incredible feat of strength, lifting a 150 billion ton mountain during the Secret Wars and breaking open Onslaught's armor with the combined mind of the rest of the world's heroes. I couldn't even make a scratch in it.
Crystal, shots
Okay,
fired.
so the Hulk can also jump really high.
You get it?
The Hulk can jump really high. He can jump into the atmosphere in a single leap. And he can also create an earthquake whenever he jumps. Now,
Earthquake. Sorry.
the fastest
We're professionals.
the long
No, we're not. Shut up.
The biggest jump ever attempted by a human was by Gerald Sensabaugh in North Carolina in 2005. His highest jump, vertical jump, was 3 feet and 3.8 feet.
Really?
Yeah.
3.8.
Vertical jump 3.8 feet?
Yeah.
I feel like there's someone that can beat
Yeah.
that.
Hang on.
I feel like there's someone that beat that.
Vertical jump record, NFL, 46 inches, 170.
Let's see.
But yeah, the Hulk would pretty much die upon impact because he just went into the atmosphere and created seismic activity. So he'd probably just break his legs, which, along with the poor blood circulation, as mentioned before, would destroy his body. He couldn't move at all, especially when angry.
Well, that's okay. Well, since we basically started
This
the
is
ranking.
This is why we're here. We are here to debunk superheroes.
Not that they need any debunking, because we're not saying that if you dose yourself with gamma radiation, you're going to turn into a green, massive
Nope.
bodybuilder.
Yeah, don't mess
Don't
with
do
your
this. Don't try it. Kids, please don't try that at home.
Just going off. Don't even go
Yeah.
off. If the gamma radiation even worked and you became the Hulk, yeah, all
Which it
that
wouldn't.
stuff would be true. Which it wouldn't, because if you had suffered gamma radiation, you'd
dead.
either be dead, and if you weren't dead, everyone you came in contact for the rest of your life will be dead, because you're giving them extreme gamma radiation poisoning.
Rescue your life or the 3 to 6 hours that you have.
Yeah, that too. So it's like,
Much death.
if somehow you survived, you're not going to be becoming the Hulk. You're going to be becoming a walking radioactive monster that's going to kill people.
With a
Fallout 4.
very shortened lifespan.
Yeah, like very shortened.
There are a lot
Fallout
of. You
16.
would require a lot of equipment to withstand gamma radiation. You would suffer radiation sickness, possible mutations, cancer, a bunch of other genetic disorders because of the gamma radiation hitting your DNA and changing the genetic code in order to not form certain proteins, because DNA's main purpose is to create proteins for your body to survive. With certain differences and changes in the DNA, proteins wouldn't be made or would be made differently, and so it would develop into increased cell growth, decreased cell growth, or anything else. And it's very, very rare that you would become an enormous green rage monster.
It's
If
impossible.
you were able to take the radiation and then make it really specific to what it's going to...
You guys, we don't have degrees, and
we don't have the technology.
we don't have the knowledge to even say what we're saying is true. And also, any of these facts that I and all the four of us have stated, if that is different, if anything that we've said is incorrect,
Please.
tell us. We will issue a
Tell us
retraction. We will edit the
in
video.
a
We will
nice
change it.
way. Do not.
We're very
rant.
sensitive. We startle easily.
He does.
He does.
Not really. We just need tell us. Post comments. Send us an email.
crew.asc@gmail.com. I'm gonna put. You got this comment section for YouTube. You have what did you put in my hair? Stop it. You have this comment section for YouTube. You have Twitter, and then we also have email. So if you find something wrong with what we're saying, or if you go and you research yourself, if just because you want to try to prove us wrong, which is perfectly fine. I don't really care. Tell us, and we will either
research it ourselves, and we will do a retraction.
Yeah, and we'll do a retraction. We'll either redo the video, or we'll post, a formal comment, or formal Twitter, whatever. I don't know.
We might not do the retraction, and
we'll definitely post an apology saying, "Hey, we're sorry. This is what we researched and have figured out from our research."
Yeah, because we do research on all of this stuff before we issue these. Yeah.
Okay, so continue with the rant, since I guess
he's doing research.
Superheroes should be less realistic, dang it.
Yeah, unlike Danny the Street, not going on that one.
Anywho.
Okay, so continue with the rant, since I think we finished with Hulk. We just kind of know if you had gamma radiation, you died. Just period. So if you take the Flash, really, the Flash as a character is good, but the thing is, personally, with my own research and stuff,
be careful what you say.
He's a massive fan of the Flash.
It's a real. If you have the means, which everyone does, go watch the show.
So
these two won't watch the show.
I'm going to watch the show once it comes out on Netflix.
Exactly.
Okay, so
when it came on TV.
Once I don't have this channel. So with the Flash, our human brain, if I remember correctly, sorry guys, I'm trying to check something. Human brain.
He is able to, like Captain America, see faster. No. But
So
Captain America
See faster?
Yeah, Captain America can
What
see
the
faster.
heck does that mean?
He can't see
How
that.
can you
His brain
see
can
fast?
process.
Okay. So
That's what that means.
in your entire brain is comprised of neurons, and so each neuron connects to about 1,000 other neurons. So every time a neuron fires, about 1,000 other neurons get information about that firing. If we multiply all this we get 100 billion neurons times 200 firings per second times 1,000 connections per firing, which equals 20 million billion calculations per second. So this is you have to think at such an incredible speed, because he's running at many times. I think he breaks the sound barrier, and I think once every now and then he can run at the speed of light.
No, he can run faster than speed light.
He can
run fast enough to travel back in time.
Just for reference, the fastest...
Or into the future.
Yeah.
Just for reference, the fastest a human has ever traveled without a system, a personal vehicle like a spaceship or a rocket car, was Felix Baumgartner. 843.6 miles per hour in a free fall, and the thing that happened is that because he didn't feel anything, it was all in the acceleration, because acceleration is a change in speed, the speed you're going, and velocity as well, either more or less. That's why when you're driving 60 miles an hour on the highway, you don't feel anything, but if you stop or go faster, you're going to feel that certain change. Now, unfortunately, that still doesn't mean anything for the Flash, because you would be ripped apart, because any matter going at speed of light, that's
No longer matter. You can't.
It would still be matter, but
Scientifically, matter can't travel faster than the speed of light. Only electricity and energy and that type of stuff can travel at the speed of light. Nothing can travel faster besides theorized tachyon particles, but we're not getting into that.
Yeah,
Go watch the show for more tachyon particles.
So basically, okay, what's happening is
Watch the Flash.
So for the Flash to run to the speed he does, he has to be thinking. Wait.
For him to run to the speed he does, he needs to eat a lot of stuff.
Yes, his
metabolism
metabolism
is so high.
Super fast. He could eat like 40 cheeseburgers and then some. 40 plus.
He does.
That's realistic. Running at that speed would cause him extremely high metabolism.
Yes.
He has to have the high metabolism, or not, he will actually burn out and end up basically killing himself.
Yes.
Because he won't be able to have the energy to run at that speed.
I'm not lying. Everything we're going to be talking about today is in the show. Go watch the show. This is a plug for the show multiple times. I'm not joking.
Okay, basically-
Flash?
No, it's not me. It's the show.
Shameless.
So basically,
Shameless plug.
the idea is if it were possible, which it's not really that possible because the electricity. If you had a lightning bolt fire at chemicals.
First of all, rest in pieces.
First of all, you most likely, if you're
RIP.
close enough, the ion charge that's going to be around in that area is going to be so high, you're probably going to. There's a very likely possibility your heart might stop, and then with the chemicals splashing on, depending on what chemicals they are, they could, if they are conductor chemicals at all, like water is a conductor, if they conduct any electricity, then you're most likely going to be electrocuted, and if there are any acids, you're going to be burned, and so there's a very little possibility of it actually working.
Actually, I found a source. It's from Vsauce 3, their video on science of Sonic the Hedgehog. They went to the speed of sound, but I want to use this as just a frame of reference to show how ludicrously fast the Flash is going. His metabolism rate would be around 210,000 calories every 2 minutes, and he would, and for those 2 minutes, he would need to eat 386 Big Macs. So 40 would still leave him starving.
So basically,
go watch Vsauce 3.
it's the amount of calories he would need to keep his metabolism high enough, and also your brain cannot think at the speeds high enough to actually keep you running at that speed and not to smash your face into something. So I saw they're looking up Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay.
You guys wanted speed, we called Sonic.
We gotta go.
So
Fast.
do you guys want to talk about the rant with the Superman, or do you think we already covered that well?
I think
Superman
it's
sucks.
fair to say that for when we're talking about Superman, comics are going to take liberties. Of course, they're comics. Comics have pretty much never taken themselves seriously.
Well, they're not supposed to. They're not supposed to take themselves serious.
But here's the thing, though. We can make fun of the Hulk and we can make fun of Flash because it's like, oh, they're humans and they got radiation from hard water and gamma radiation. But for Superman, I think it's fine that we stretch the facts because, I mean, he has alien DNA, or heck, maybe it's not DNA. We don't know. He's an alien. So it could be.
Actually, it is DNA.
Okay.
Because if you read some of the comics, at one point, Lex Luthor, who runs Cadmus, takes a portion of Superman's DNA, and because it's not actually fully finished DNA, he uses it, but he actually inputs some of his DNA and creates Superboy, who's half Kryptonian, half human.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. It is DNA, but it is still alien DNA.
Yeah, it's still alien
DNA.
DNA.
Use of different compounds, different elements we might not have discovered, based on a different alien planet that is not ours. So we can assume anything, pretty much. But it is fun to see if Superman was just actually a human, what the possibilities could be.
Okay, hold on. Superman, Captain America, and I believe one other superhero were put in place to relieve the stress of war times.
Yeah.
They came around during the war, and they're supposed to be lighthearted. They're supposed to be this man of steel. You can't beat him. You can't even get close.
You had it, if you go back, look at the old Captain America ones, there are issues where Captain America, on the cover, Captain America is punching Hitler. It was an idea to raise spirits since so many people in the U.S. were of low hopes because of the war and stuff. So it's more of, they were made larger than life and have all these fantastical powers so that they were unstoppable and they could defeat anything, because originally people like Captain America were meant to defeat the Nazis. That was the whole idea, and they made him larger than life. People like Superman was meant to protect the world, all that kind of stuff.
We'll put an image up of some propaganda about this time.
Yeah. So all this kind of,
hopefully,
Superman, is an alien and stuff, and more the problem, like, personally, my biggest problem with Superman is just the fact that his powers are ever changing no matter what. Even whenever he gets in a problem, his powers change and fix the problem. So, but other than that, it wasn't meant to be a long-standing superhero. Really, it was more meant to help with the time, and it became a long-standing superhero.
He's only been around for 80 years.
Yeah, only 80 years. Sorry.
I think Carson, come back in the shot.
Okay.
We kicked Carson out. So.
I guess we're back, Carson.
Meanwhile, back at the actual podcast.
We're gonna sign out. All right.
So we decided that we're going to wrap this episode up for today.
It's been about 30 minutes
of recording.
A little more of other stuff, but 30 minutes to record. That's all that counts.
All right.
You guys take our total and complete and utter
nonsense.
So okay. So before we sign out all the way, I'm thinking about within the next week I might start up a blog. So if you have any more in-depth questions, I can answer them on there. The blog. I don't know what I'm going to set it up on yet. I might get it on Blogger. Or I might do something else. Huh? I don't know. So I'll figure that out within the next week. But besides that, if you have any more questions, if you have questions about this video, please contact us with either the Twitter, or the Gmail, which I will both have down here, or use the comment section on YouTube. Both will work perfectly fine. So if you got any questions, if you want us to answer any of your questions about for any more videos, you can all do that right there.
Let me sum this up. If you have any more questions, please contact us. If you would like to subscribe, click this box right up here.
Or the box.
It's gonna be right over here.
Or I'm pretty sure it's the box that's gonna be down below. In that
one of the two.
Yep. Click the red subscribe button.
So I think that is all. So I think we're gonna sign off now.
Yep.
All right. Thank you guys for watching.
That's
Stay
Carson,
frosty.
Matt,
See you guys.
Joe,
Now this is
and
Crystal.
Crystal.
Bye guys.
See you guys.
Bye.